Kazuya Mishima. The baddest man on the block. The man who originally, before it was retconned, hated his father so much for what he did, he made a pact with the devil and trained for years to take revenge. The one that walks around with a demon on his shoulder, with evil coursing through his veins, a specter just beneath his skin. The villain, the bad man. He's a very bad man. And in our opinion, Kazuya is the face of Tekken above any others. The iconic Japanese businessman, soldier, fighter, at any point in time, is one of the most played characters in the game, and we can see why. Everything he does is with a Yakuza-like attitude and swag, like he knows he is the best at what he does. But the best stuff he does is certainly hard to do, leaving new players out in the cold. This is not a wave dash guide or a Korean backdash guide, which no matter the side of the player select screen you want to play on, you will have to master both in order to get the maximum usage out of Kazuya Mishima. We have a plethora of links to guides that have helped us with our wave dash and Korean backdash, and how to perform a perfect electric. All of that down in the description details below. But this is not any of those things. This is the Good String series, where out of hundreds of moves in Tekken, we take things down to bite-sized parts to use as a starter pack, or to help add something to your game. I'm Vector7 Onassis, and it's all you and me, bud. And Kazuya, who recently found out mommy didn't love him before throwing his father into a volcano. Oh boy. Dang bro, this man has more parental issues than Bruce Wayne. But let's throw caution aside and take a closer look. Welcome to New Wave Tekken. And begin. Let's start with Flash Combo, with the input of 112, number 14 on the move list. This quite possibly might be Kazuya's most important string when starting out with them. It is a dope-ass introduction to how this character works. Starting off at 10 frames, you can punish a lot of iffy crap opponents throw at you. Beside the full string knocking down on hit, the high punches also jail your opponent, which means they're held in place. Alright, let's break this down a little more. The first two punches are +8 on hit and only -1 on block, allowing you to sidestep a linear attack, and if nothing else, guess what? Do Flash Punch Combo. Flash Punch might be Kazuya's best friend starting out, and like most best friends, they can be your worst enemy. Because get that last hit wrong, and it may cost you your life, as this full string is a heavy -16 frames on block, and you don't want to give your booty up to the opponent like that. Do your best to confirm the first two attacks. If you see the punches were blocked, or you really don't think your opponent is going to press a button after the first two punches, do not throw out the third one. Also, Flash Punch Combo can be sidewalk left and right, leaving Vegetable Head quite open to attack. I guess this is where I say, boo! As the quintessential 10-frame punisher, even if you don't know the frames of your opponent's move, throw out the first two attacks of Flash Punch when it's your turn and see if it hits. Also, the last hit of the string is a constant threat. Will you throw it out or not? Leaving your opponent to wonder, when is it really their turn? So remember this, if you're not sure if a move your opponent has performed is punishable, throw out the first two punches of Flash Punch. You know the move is punishable, but you don't know by how much? Throw out Flash Punch Combo. Because throw out Flash Punch Combo. I want it to seep into your head to knock your opponent down on their ass when they mess up. Always be ready to punish with this move. Alright, on to the next one. Let's look at Agony Spear. Did I mention that Kazuya was the bad guy? The names, I just love the names. Sorry. Okay, number 18 on the attack list, with the input 314. There's some gamesmanship you can start the play here with this move. It's high, mid, starting at 14 frames. If you land the kick, which is a +4 on hit by the way, the following punch is guaranteed. At that point, you will be +7, and the knee on normal hit is +8. This full string up against a blocking opponent is only -6 on block. Safe. The first attack, the kick, can be ducked and dick jabbed. If you're going up against a really quick thinking opponent, they can flash duck and punish you with a wild rising move. But if your opponent isn't armed with ultra instincts and tries a rising move, they will be clipped by the second hit. And bear with me, if they recognize this string and they can dick jab you after the second hit as well, or do a rising move here, and again, the same rules apply. Ultra instinct, duck, and you will be punished to the max. But if not, they'll be counter hit by the knee. And this entire string can be sidewalked left and right. When you're all up in your opponent's face and want to build off of plus frames, look to land the first 2 hits in the neutral. Mix in down forward 1, and now you can officially annoy the heck out of your opponent, my dudes. Especially since those first 2 hits are only -1 on block. And when something is -1 on block, what do? Look to sidestep a linear attack, wherein this becomes a great place to punish with flash punch combo. And if they block the first 2 hits of the string and you lull them to sleep about the 3rd hit and then throw it out when they've been convinced you won't, you score a counter hit that launches for a combo. Albeit it may be a janky one at the start of your Kazuya journey. Such fun, right? Next up is 23 on the move list. Oni front kick. A mid attack that's +5 on hit. If anything, it sets up the game telling you that you need to learn how to wave dash, because your opponent is now in another freaking country. But at the start of using Kazuya, this is a great keep out tool, and this baby has range. Being a long-range attack move, of course it comes with a few downsides. It has a slow startup at 19 frames, and though safe if thrown out at a tippy-tip range, Oni front kick is -13 on block. So if your opponent blocks this right next to you, welcome to Punish City, population you, my guy. Oni front kick is also steppable left and right. Sometimes you need to think as Kazuya. You know, contemplate how you're going to kill your son, how you're going to kill your half-brother Lars. Is Jun still alive? And you need to get that whole timing and spacing thing down for your next attack. Kazuya is really defensive, and a lot of Tekken characters are really offensive. Use this kick to push opponents back to give yourself some breathing room and help you think about what your next move is going to be. And if you land this on counter hit, you'll score a knockdown, in which case Tekken is screaming at you to learn how to wave dash to optimize what is possible here. Again, refer to the wave dash guides below. Okay. Besides Flash Punch, these next 3 moves that we're going to link together are our favorite part of the Kazuya starter pack here at New Wave Tekken. Move 26, Slicing Blade. Move 27, Slaughter High Kick, dope ass name, and Devastator at move 28. These 3 series of strings are the ones we like the most out of this Kazuya starter pack. These moves work as a cyclical wheel, especially the first 2 variants. There's a mix-up game Kazuya can play, you dig? Slicing Blade may at first not seem so great and knocks your opponent down, but it's -13 on block. Kazuya can even launch punish Kazuya for using this. But Slaughter Kick makes things a lot more interesting. It smacks your opponent into a ballerina spin where you will be a whopping +18. And if they start to duck the second hit of Slaughter Kick, which is a high attack, you simply do the Devastator portion of the string. In this 3-way mix-up, though it may confuse your opponent, things can still go badly for Kazuya. They can duck the high, punish the 13-frame mid, or punish you for the 12-frame. The worst of it is if your opponent ducks the high kick. So in a match, if this immediately starts to happen, or your opponent catches on to this mix-up, stop using the Slaughter Kick option and go either for Slicing Blade or Devastator. The Slaughter Kick string in particular can frame trap your opponent. They keep pressing buttons, they'll just get hit over and over again by this mid-high string. If you land Slicing Blade for a knockdown, Devil's Steel Pedal is a guaranteed option here. The Devastator is great to throw out when you think your opponent is going to duck and you just want to keep them confused. It's also great to use at the wall because it wall splats, as well does the Slaughter Kick String. So this is a bit of playing defensively and watching what your opponent is doing. For instance, if they don't duck the second hit of Slaughter Kick, they simply block at -3. You can sidestep a linear attack and... Is she going to say it? Yes, I'm going to say it. Do Flash Punch combo. Or Slicing Blade for a nice knockdown where they will be right at your feet. And you could always just throw out a down forward 1 as a test run for the rest of the strings. See what they do. And stay perfectly safe at -7 on block. Now let's talk about move 59, Twin Pistons. This is the I feel like ducking is a good idea move. Really though, if you're going up against someone that likes to throw out high attacks, or a move that forces Kazuya into crouch that is -13 on block, I know, such conditions must be met to use this character. But under those circumstances, Twin Pistons is a real killer. A 13 frame launcher in this game is pretty powerful. Twin Pistons is a simple move given to a man with a not so user-friendly game plan. If you recognize any string of your opponent that contains a high attack, this is where Twin Pistons shines the most early on. And watch out for any opponent that gets downright disrespectful about throwing out attacks that forces crouch. Anything above -12 will get them a one-way ticket to Launch City. Sometimes even though the frames will be correct, Kazuya will be pushed far too back to properly punish. And this move itself is -12 on block. So if someone throws out a high with quick recovery and you do Twin Pistons just a moment too late, you're about to get mollywopped. Lastly, we'll cover move 39, Rampaging Demon, which is a mid-high mid-string. This first punch of Rampage can act as a good mid-poke. It's +4 on hit, safe on block at -8. But considering this is a 3-hit string, you may very well get away with throwing out this first punch more than once, as your opponent could expect you to perform the whole thing. In looking at the first 2 hits, if you land the mid attack, the high is guaranteed. Kazuya will be +8, and you can go right back into pressuring your opponent. Those 2 hits are also -3 on block, so you're still safe. That final hit grants a knockdown if it lands, or wall splats if you're next to one. If facing a button-happy opponent, and let's face it, it's Tekken, so this is bound to happen, trying to repeat that first hit, even if you land it, will get you punched in the face, so watch out for that. The second attack of the string is high, so on block, Kazuya can be ducked and launched. And if you throw out all 3 attacks and they're all blocked, you're -14, which means that last hit must be used as an occasional surprise. You will not keep your health very long if you throw this one out every time. When you already have some plus frames to work with, or out in the neutral and you want to knowledge check your opponent a bit. Remember, Kazuya is popular. It is very helpful to know as quickly as possible how much your opponent knows, you know? Also, when the first attack hits, mix in down forward 1 to link one string into another string. That can really throw your opponent for a doozy, whether on hit or on block. They'll go from having to deal with one type of mix-up right to another. Kazuya's move list isn't very big, so if Kazuya can confuse his enemy, that might be lights out for them. Every once in a while, after conditioning your opponent into believing that if they block the second attack, it's their turn, throw out a third hit. But remember, it's -14 on block, so be careful when you want to take a chance with this. Try to feel out when you think your opponent will press a button, and try to set this up when your enemy has their back against a wall. And just one more thing. Your girl here mentioned if your enemy blocks the first 2 hits of Rampaging Demon, Kazuya is -3. There is still enough time to sidestep a straight aiming attack. And you know what you can do then? Flash Punch combo. Kazuya Mishima is actually not a win now character. He is a I want to learn Tekken while getting my ass beat for several months character. In all reality, he has some great tools here, but they must be used in a very fundamental and tactical way in order to maximize the absolute supreme evil of this guy. So be patient with yourself, okay? Ignore the trolling and the teabagging. Treat yourself with kid gloves when playing Kazuya. Tekken is a journey, and if you want to have a long, fulfilling journey in this game, we can't think of a better character than Kazuya Mishima, Mr. Tekken himself. Now, I got some Tekken to go play. I'm sure you do too. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And keep in tune with the rhythm of the fight. Because a good string is like a good song. No matter how many times you repeat it, it's just as good as it was the first time.